Okay, so we on the channel watched the dangelowallace videos with Jeffree and with Shane. And the response to them has been really good. First of all, thank you so much to everyone who has been watching along and who's been here on the streams, watching them on YouTube after. So we have one final one to go through. And this one is the Tati Westbrook one. Now, why I'm excited to watch this one is because this one is more of like a debate piece from what I remember. Because with Shane Dawson, it was like Shane Dawson bad, Jeffree Star bad. With Tati Westbrook, people had... I think this one was the like least well responded to one that D'Angelo posted, because Tati is such kind of like a controversial person in the conversation of the bi sister and the conversation of everything, that it really does just open it up to debate, which I'm excited for today. Also, I'm pretty sure his entire video is anti-Tati. Now, in terms of all three of them, I would definitely be Team Tati. I would still be Team Tati in the James Charles thing. I think that she went, I think there were things that she did that were definitely not the right intentions. I think, all those different things. But I definitely think that Tati is like the best of a bad bunch. I'm not saying she's a good person. I don't know her, but that's all I'm saying. So I'm excited to watch this one. And yeah, it is very much so. I'm pretty sure he goes pretty hard on her here, which is going to be interesting because I think the narrative has kind of changed a little bit on Tati Westbrook over the years. But let's get into it. Chat, let me hear you. Are we ready? And I'm ready to go, so let's do it.
Last year, there was a record-breaking smear campaign on YouTube.
Okay, so we're opening with it being a smear campaign. So obviously this is going to be a very pro-James Charles video, which is important to note because D'Angelo deleted all three of these videos because the stuff about James Charles came out. And people were like, oh my god, D'Angelo's video is making James Charles the victim in a situation where he's not the victim. And he deleted the videos because he didn't want to be a part of kind of like a narrative that wasn't necessarily true. So, anyway.
It was James Charles. Fast forward to today, and that smear campaign has backfired, like a complete 180. James Charles is thriving more than ever, and the three people behind the campaign are all...
Well, I mean, okay. I wouldn't say James Charles is thriving in 2023. I know this video was a couple years ago, and I also wouldn't say any of the other three are thriving. I think all four of them are not.
Dealing with karma for trying to take him down. One did it out of jealousy. The other for business reasons. But this video...
Not the Shanae shirt. Anyone else catch that?
About the one that did it to teach him a lesson. And how that lesson wound up changing the course of not just YouTube, but her entire life.
Thank you for following. Oh my god, I'm just seeing, like, the Sugar Bear hair, like, the Sugar Bear hair, teaser.
Right now, James Charles, you are changing everything.
This is cringy. Oh god. Dun, 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 dun.
Hi, and welcome back to me talking about whatever.
Happy
I want.
birthday!
Today I want to talk about Tati Westbrook. But first I want to talk about this new YouTube setup. The quality, the depth of field, the organization.
All right.
On her, James Charles, us, YouTube as a platform. This thing set record.
I remember all this going down. It's wild watching this now.
It changed the way we interact with YouTube drama, and YouTube itself, the company, got involved in a really unprecedented way. So
I don't mean to spoil, but didn't YouTube message Tati and be like, delete this video now about the bi sister? Which goes to show she wasn't even going to delete it on her own accord. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
Interesting. And then in the last part of this video, I just kind of want to wrap up this whole series, since this is the final part of a 3-part series. A couple things have happened.
A trilogy, if you will.
A couple of interesting responses from certain people. Now, without further ado, allow me to present the Tati Westbrook video.
So my subscribers showed up for me.
Sorry.
And I just hope that you're still there.
Thank you.
So who is she?
Oh my god, that video. I think I'm gonna have a heart attack. I think I'm gonna have a heart attack.
In the first place. Basically, Tati Westbrook is a beauty YouTuber. She's one of the biggest channels in the beauty space with nearly 10 million.
Is it so crazy to think that she's like one of the biggest beauty gurus whenever I like had not, well, I'm not saying like me knowing someone determines their like fame, but all I'm saying is like I had never heard of Tati Westbrook before my sister. Never once. And I was in the beauty space. I just had no idea who this woman was. And everyone was like, oh my god, she's one of the biggest. Anyone else not know who she was before this?
Subscribers. She usually uploads twice a week with no exceptions. Her videos are very high quality and well produced.
She's
They're
gorgeous.
unique because in a space where everyone is kind of known for neon colors and bright personalities, Tati Westbrook is more subdued.
Oh my god. What a diss. In an industry where everyone's known for being really high energy, really interesting, really fun, Tati Westbrook's boring.
It feels like Shane, James Charles, Tati and Jeffree are no longer the big YouTubers people care about.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's true, though. I mean, they're all still performing how they performed. I think we're just more focused on topics that are much broader than for people nowadays.
Elegant. At one point, her brand was that she was the least problematic person in
It's
the
just
beauty
so
space,
funny to think about.
which isn't saying much when it's filled like people with Jeffree Star, and you get my point. Tati Westbrook is also a CEO of two companies, Tati Beauty.
Can you still buy, like, any Tati Beauty thing? Tati Beauty makeup. I remember my friend. Who was it? One of my friends has, like, the Tati Westbrook palette. Oh, it was Kat. And Kat pulled it out when we were in LA, and I was like, oh, Tati Beauty is now closed. Oh, well. Well. Thank you for all the support and all the amazing memories. Wait, why is this website still open? Why wouldn't they have taken it down? Shopping. Wait, are Tati lashes Tati Westbrook or no? Can you buy her shit anywhere? You can buy it on eBay, I guess. Price drop. Okay. I mean, is this a real palette or is it like a fake? You know what I mean? Something about buying a makeup palette on eBay sounds very weird to me. Located in Switzerland. Huh. Box may be damaged. Sorry. Alright, well, apparently you can't get it anymore.
And Halo Beauty. Now that's important to keep in mind because Halo Beauty sells vitamins.
But is Halo Beauty still a thing? Halo Beauty vitamins. Oh my god, the first thing comes up is lost it. Okay, Halo Beauty is still a thing. So this is still all of hers? Is this Tati? Oh no, it's not. As I say, jeepers. Okay, wait. So what do they actually sell on here? Skin booster, anti-aging booster, all this stuff that, like, doesn't work. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a product that's like my tea, for instance. Like, it's like, what it's called, digestion tea, and, for, losing bloat and all these different things. Does the tea do any of that? No, but it's nice to think it does. It's like a face mask. You're like, wow, I'm really doing something good for myself. But I mean, this is expensive. I mean, sold out. Work. I mean, yeah, you can sell it if you only order 10 of them.
Vitamins.
Well.
And Tati really cares about her vitamins. But over the past year, if you look at her channel, you might notice some weird things are going on. For one, she's losing subscribers at a rapid rate. Every single month, she's losing tens of thousands of subscribers. Even if her channel is growing, there's no way to tell because so many people are leaving. They're outnumbering the new people finding her. You'll also notice a lot of dislikes on many of her...
Okay, 3.8k dislikes is not a lot. This is dramatic. This is dramatic. With 27k...
her videos, despite the fact that the content itself is very innocuous. And the further back you go, the more dislikes you see. As you can tell, something happened on her channel at one point. All of this weirdness is stemming from controversy that happened 1 year ago. In May 2019, Tati Westbrook uploaded the infamous James Charles hit piece, simply titled, Bye Sister. In this
Such a good name, right? Such a good name. And I hate the fact that Shane Dawson was allegedly the one that came up with the name, because that is a good name. That is a funny name. A play on the High Sisters.
this video, she made very disturbing claims and allegations against her
In all
fellow
capitals,
YouTuber
too.
image.
With the Jeffree Star PR in the background. Oh. Hair was done. Makeup was on. Jewelry was on. Nails were painted. She came on this bitch angry as hell and looking good doing it. Whew.
we will get into later. It was very quickly revealed that there were 2 other people involved with this video as well. Because immediately after publishing that video, she received support from both Jeffree Star and Shane.
Clearly.
I talk about their involvement in the whole thing in the first 2 videos, but basically,
which we've already watched,
people started putting the pieces together and realizing that all 3 of them seemed to be conspiring.
And you did it at my birthday dinner! I had to call everyone up the next day and say, oh my god, I'm so bad. What was it? Wait. I had to call everyone up the next day and say how embarrassed I was for your behavior. And you just kept flirting with the waiter. And whenever I said, James, he's straight, you said, doesn't matter, I'm famous. Like, oh my god.
James Charles down. The only problem was, James Charles didn't...
Oh yeah, I'm sorry on your behalf. Yeah, that was it.
Actually do anything. Now, part of the reason By Sister was such a big deal was because James Charles had just promoted a rival vitamin brand, which she pretty much cites as
which is probably coming up to the anniversary of By Sister because it's almost Coachella season. Coachella is in April, right? Yeah, Coachella is this month, which means that this all took place how many years ago? 2019, 21, 2, 3, 4 years ago now? Ooh.
For why she decided to speak out against him. So the combination of her serious allegations of him being a predator and the fact that she seemed to be doing this solely because he promoted one of her business rivals, coupled with the fact that she was promoting her vitamin brand throughout the entire...
Sugar Bear Hair, are they still a thing? Thank you for following Sugar Bear Hair. Are they still a thing? Sugar Bear Hair. Aren't these things like so high in sugar? I'm not saying just this brand, but like even like Halo Beauty and stuff like that. Well, to each their own.
Video. It turned out to not really be a good look for her in the end. And then once it came out that the claims of him being a predator weren't even true.
This is why D'Angelo deleted this video. This is why he deleted these videos. So for people asking, why did D'Angelo delete the videos on my 2 previous ones? Here's your reason. Because D'Angelo is on record saying all of this. And it, like, doesn't, it's not really the truth.
Yeah, she pretty much lost all of the support she got from that situation. After people realized that the video was completely unfounded, Tati started to lose favor. Because Tati was technically the only one who had put out a video, even though Jeffree Star had claimed that he was going to.
By the way, this is no shade towards D'Angelo or anything like that. This was public opinion at the time that he made this video. This was public opinion at the time he made this video. So this is nothing against him. This is a video from like a year ago or something like that, or 2 years ago. So this is like not on him. Just for context.
As a follow-up to hers, they let Tati take the fall for the entire situation. Both Shane and Jeffree distanced themselves from her publicly. Jeffree Star went on a podcast and very directly put all of the blame for the situation
jacket is so tacky.
on Tati Westbrook.
Because everyone wants to make me you ruined James Charles' career. No, Tati did and uploaded a 40-minute video about him, and she should have never uploaded that. But she did. And for some reason, James thinks that me and Shane tried to ruin his life and orchestrated the whole thing. Like we fucking care.
Now, accusing Tati for being the sole one for trying to ruin his life was completely unfair, since Jeffree Star was the main one calling James a danger to society. Now, 1 week after Jeffree Star
dramatic.
so publicly, Tati stopped uploading. 2 months.
Oh my god, this tweet was... I remember this tweet rocked my world. Like, rocked my world. Hi, Junkie!
Hi, Adam.
Hello. This tweet rocked my world, where she was like, no video, me and my heart are taking a time out. And she, like, took a while off. And, like, she just, like, left the internet. I mean, she came back, but, like, she left the internet. And then she started posting these, like, cryptic, like, song lyrics and, like, cryptic quotes and all these different things. And it was what a time to be on the internet. Listen, it was, like, sorry, I'm trying to find the words here. I'm trying to think. It was the summer of 69. It was beautiful. Everyone was so happy. No, it was a time where we were all kind of in lockdown and stuff, right? And this stuff really just passed the time. Sorry. Oh my god, I was posting so many videos on this per day. It kept me going. I'm gonna be honest.
It's after she announced her break on Twitter. Tati was still missing in action, but that's when Shane Dawson came forward and blamed her as well. This was all in his infamous...
Oh my god, the final thoughts in the beauty world.
I remember during New Year's, James defended Tati in a reply on Twitter.
Ooh.
Welcome to the circus statement, which would be all too familiar if you happen to see part 2 of this. Did I tell her to make a video? No. Did I have any involvement in the video? No. Did I orchestrate it? No. To be clear, this was also quite an unfair thing to do to her because Shane Dawson was also supporting her very publicly after the Bye Sister video, therefore lending credibility to her. So because they both distanced themselves from her like that, Tati's reputation was...
Pandemic drama was and is so historic. This drama, the Tiger King drama.
I'm still yet to see Tiger King.
Shambles, and people were solely pinning the blame on her for the entire Bye Sister situation. And understandably, she wasn't very happy with that. Shane's statement was clearly the final straw because 2 days after it, she posted a cryptic message on Twitter.
Yes! Oh my god. Oh, this is when it begins. This is when it begins. Yes! This is whenever she was like posting all these like, you've waited, keep waiting for me. My arrival is imminent. The mother is back. Like, she was like posting these like crazy on her social medias, and all of us were like investigating them, and this is when it began.
All these 30-year-olds bullying a 19-year-old, not condoning James's behavior at all, but attacking a child and lying.
This was real. This was real, yeah. This was real. She did like all these tweets.
Followed up by another one, and then finally, an announcement that she would soon be returning with a video. And that video came out June 30th.
It's time to say goodbye, as she said.
At 12 p.m. Yep, it was that video.
You're a fake crying.
You were fake crying! You were fake crying! You were fake crying!
Fake crying!
You were fake crying!
That
You
is
weren't
not
real!
Oh
My god!
It's mind-blowing that this drama has affected the careers of everyone involved to the point none of them are really doing well now online.
I mean, people were just kind of over them, I guess. Sunset, thank you for following. You are fake crying! You are fake crying!
I briefly mentioned it in the last part, but now we're finally going to take a look at Tati
Adam, I was
Westbrook's
taking
video,
about Tiger King.
Breaking My Silence. Now, if you sort through all of the emotional manipulation and outright lies... in
Breaking My Silence. The titles for them all were just so good, right? The titles were just like... the titles really make them.
Video. There are actually some very serious claims. I think it's a good idea to look at the root of what she was saying first, and then I can point out how ridiculous it is. Now, her video is 40 minutes long, and I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about in this video.
His video was an hour long.
Weirdly warm color balance apology, so I'm just going to go ahead and compress her main points into a very quick rundown. Now, it's worth noting that Jeffree, Shane, and Tati all made similar videos, but Tati's was the worst received, and it currently has more dislikes than likes. At least, I'm assuming it was the worst received.
I mean, he's gonna go on here and say that, like, the other two had, like, you know, disabled dislikes and stuff like that, so I think it is unfair to make this point with Tati. Dare I say that people were also harsher on Tati because she's a woman? Sorry, I don't mean to, you know, have that conversation or whatever, but I believe still to this day that people were harsher on Tati because she was a woman. Because, I mean, the things that Shane and Jeffree were also being accused of within it, like, they really didn't get the same level of, like, hundreds of thousands of dislikes that Tati did, and, like, Tati was being held as the sole responsibility one, and, okay, chatter agreeing. Aubrey, thank you.
Because Jeffree Star disabled the likes on his. So who knows how much he had. I like to think it's a 100% dislike bar, but that's just my imagination. So here are Tati's main points. She starts off by saying she was actually coerced into releasing Bye Sister
You're right, the
last year.
misogyny
I've
was very
lost over a
prevalent.
year of my life terrified of social media and terrified of speaking up against the people that used, coerced, and manipulated me into uploading my video and media.
There's something so bleak and, like, really actually kind of awful about the fact she made this video and in general, but the fact that she's like, she opens it with like, I'm gonna be reading what's approved by my lawyers and everything. I'm like literally just like reading a sheet the entire time. Really I actually think that this was like the worst video she could have created. And I liked this video in the moment, but looking back, like, oh my god, what's been lawyer approved, and I'm gonna sue everyone, and I can't talk because of lawsuits, and then none of that came into fruition. There was never any lawsuits, no one got sued, so she was just, like, lying here. And again, this is my favorite video out of all of the 3 videos. It doesn't really say much, but I mean, this video is just bad. Like, really, really, really bad. How are you going to sit and be like, I have to make a video reading a statement from my lawyer because there's a lawsuit or whatever she said in it, but then there was never any lawsuit?
Of last year.
She then claims that she and James actually made up after the fact last year, and she publicly
Which came back to bite her in the ass as well.
apologizes to him for uploading the video.
We apologized to each other, forgave each other, and agreed to wait patiently until it was safe for me to share my story.
She then says that she never lied.
I mean, like, safe to tell your story? What does this even mean? You know what I mean? We privately made up, and until it was safe for me to leave the trenches and come and upload this YouTube video. What does that mean? The fuck does that mean?
And by sister, and that she never called James a predator, which was the main accusation coming from the video, by the way.
I was very worried and heartbroken, but I did not lie in that video. I never called James Charles a predator, and I never said that James Charles was a danger to society. My video was not made with any malice.
Next, she squashes the idea that
My
this
video
all
was not made with any malice. Okay. Okay, if you say so.
happened because of the vitamin, and instead directly blames
Yeah, I mean, she alluded to it. I think that was such a stupid statement for her to be like, I never said he was a predator. I never said he was any things. Bitch, sorry, I'm saying bitch as in, like, what I would say is about Jeffree as well. It's not me being, you know, I say bitch about everything. Bitch, like, your entire video was about that. Your entire video was about painting this picture of him. Bitch, please. Like,
Shane and Jeffree for her uploading the By Sister video.
While I was definitely upset that he had accepted a sponsorship from the biggest rival to my brand, Halo Beauty, I did not make my video because of vitamins. I made it as a result of all of the poisonous lies that were fed to me by Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star.
And she tried
okay. I feel like my opinion has changed for a video. I feel like I watched this now and I'm like, wow, this was an easy escape. Like, this was a really easy escape. You know what I mean? This is not me siding with Jeffree or Shane, but that was such an easy, like, way out for her. To be like, this was not about vitamins. I'm gonna use it again. Bitch, what? It was because of the lies that, yeah, it could have been because as well. Thank you so much. It could have been. But, like, why are you... You can say that it's because of the poisonous lies you were fed. But you can also say it was because of the fucking vitamins.
tries to distance herself from her association with Shane and Jeffree. She said the only reason she hung around Jeffree, even though she knew he was problematic, was because she thought she could change him. And she claims that she had no idea about Shane Dawson's old content and actions because she didn't look into him properly.
Okay, I'm gonna believe her in not looking into Shane Dawson's past, because I mean, that's just kind of like, oh my, you know what I mean? Unless it was presented with her all these videos and stuff, and a lot of people who were fans of Shane had no idea of it as well. I believe her on that. In terms of she wanted to be friends with Jeffree as a way of fixing him, it's like such a weird statement to make.
I knew that Jeffree had had a lot of drama in his past, but when he came to me, he presented himself as someone who had changed and was trying to be better. I saw his pain, and I felt that I could be a positive influence. I didn't know much about Shane Dawson. I wish I had researched him better. I wish I had watched his old videos. I wish I had educated myself and I was aware of his earlier content. All I knew at the time was that Shane Dawson...
Alright, I mean, this video is very clearly just passing off all the blame on the fact that Shane was, you know, hated in the media at this stage. And I think I wasn't really seeing it how I'm seeing it now. Where this is very clearly coming off as she's, like, nose of the media, so against Shane, so she's putting it off on that. That's kind of what this is giving. me right now.
Dawson was the most adored documentary filmmaker on YouTube.
Oh, God.
After that, she explains that Jeffree Star would constantly tell her really disturbing things about James Charles, which she didn't really believe until Shane Dawson showed up and started echoing the exact same things to her.
I was told there were a lot of victims that were going to come forward to destroy you. Jeffree sent me what he claimed was an audio file from an alleged victim and told me to listen to the...
Oh my God, the way he's like weaponizing this like blackmail of an alleged victim is crazy. I mean, we just spoke about it with Blair White as well.
...pain in their voice. Shane said that James Charles was a monster and that James Charles was hurting minors.
She directly contradicts their
Well,
assertions that they had nothing to do with the video, and instead claims that Shane Dawson actually offered to work on the video himself.
Shane Dawson didn't just know about my Bi Sister video. He offered to help edit it. He even
that is so funny.
offered to design the thumbnail and help title it.
Finally,
There's just something funny about that.
and what I think is probably the most important part, she admits that the rumors and claims were unsubstantiated and no evidence came forward.
After a few days of Jeffree fanning the flames on Twitter, no victims appeared as they had stated would happen. And no evidence came forward as they stated would
Shane Dawson adding a yellow background to the Bi Sister video, like the food videos.
happen.
She outright finishes it by saying Shane and Jeffree conspired to take down James Charles
I believe
because
that.
of jealousy and business
I
reasons.
believe it.
It's now my opinion that Jeffree and Shane were both bitterly jealous of James Charles's success.
I believe it.
Jeffree resented that so much of his business was centered around his biggest rival.
I believe
And
it.
Shane did not like that James Charles wanted to make a documentary.
I believe it.
Neither of them were happy with standing in his shadow on YouTube anymore.
I believe
And
it.
it's also my opinion
Oh.
that Jeffree and Shane needed James marginalized and out of the way for their November launch of the Conspiracy Palette along.
I believe it. Wait, so was James cancelled by the time the conspiracy was launched? The conspiracy palette, not the, like, Illuminati conspiracy. That's crazy. I mean, they got what they wanted.
With Shane's merch.
They had an idea, and they fulfilled it.
At the very end, she accuses Shane and Jeffree of defamation and then issues legal threats to everyone involved.
In early May, when Jeffree went on a podcast and denied responsibility for his involvement and placed blame on me, it was both cowardly and defamatory. Last week, when Shane issued his statements about his involvement in all of this, I also perceived them as cowardly.
Isn't this so crazy that this is all about YouTube drama? Sorry, all about vitamins.
And defamatory. As for everyone else involved,
I love
that did
when she looks right into the camera.
anything underhanded or defamatory over the last year, I am still well within the statute of limitations for bringing a civil action to seek recovery for my damages.
Which she never did. She literally never did. So, I mean, this has no impact because she did not do that. My sister was before the palette launch, if I remember correctly, since they were kind of advertising in the series. They were going to talk about it. Oh, yeah, and then they didn't talk about it.
And that was pretty much the video.
Thank
What
you
was
for
her damages? Like, lost views? Yeah, it's just like, what? That you lost popularity because of something you did? Like, yeah, you can be like, Shane and Jeffree made me do it, but, like, you posted it. It was on your channel. So you losing things has to do because of you. Also, the lighting in this video just pisses me off. Like, why can you not, like, block out the sun?
listening, and I hope this clears up enough for you to feel like you can forgive me.
So basically, it's a catch-22 of
That you can forgive me, girl.
taking no accountability for your actions whatsoever. Jeffree blames Tati.
That's why there was no
Shane says he has
lawsuit,
nothing
because
to do
she
with
was at fault for her damages. Yeah.
it, and then Tati blames both Shane and Jeffree. Now, I've already talked about how I feel about Shane and Jeffree trying to pin the blame on her in the previous episodes, but now I want to talk about how Tati Westbrook was pretty much lying throughout this entire apology through her teeth. So, Tati's assertion that she was coerced into uploading the Bi Sister video sounds like something that
Thank
could be
you,
true,
Livy
especially
Jean.
when you take into account Jeffree
Thank
Star's
you.
history with blackmailing people and manipulating them. But Tati here is banking on the fact that you probably haven't seen Bi Sister in a while, So you might not remember what she actually said in there. And even though she deleted that video, we still have access to it. So let's go ahead and take a look at it and see how all
It's like me with this video by D'Angelo. Even though it's deleted, I still have access to it.
points in her apology basically fall apart. So this whole I was coerced into filming and uploading a video is completely bogus, because in that video, in the 2019 By Sister video, she explains very clearly why she made it.
And there's so much that you guys don't know, and I'm going to share a lot of it with
God,
you.
she looks so good here.
I feel at this point that I have to, because Gabriel Zamora decided to...
The energy in this video versus the one we just watched is so funny. It's like a completely different person.
drag me out on the dance floor by calling me out by name in a video that he made about opinions in makeup.
That doesn't...
Does anyone care about Gabriel Zamora anymore? What is he doing? Is he still doing things?
quite sound like coercion, especially since she mentioned several times throughout that video that she was specifically doing it to set James straight and clear her name. She also lied in her apology, and she said that she never lied in her original video.
I did not lie in that video.
James Charles, for the most part, addressed many of the lies in that video, but the main one I want to talk about is the fact that she said that James Charles never promoted her vitamin brand on his channel.
The reason that James always said that he couldn't promote Halo on his channel and really do, like, you know, heavy endorsement was because he has a teenage audience and it would just be inappropriate.
My best friend Tati, she's launching something new on Halo Beauty. Super proud of her. By the time this video is out, it'll already be up, so go check it out. Promo for Tati. Love you, mom.
Two of the following statements are real claims.
This is such a funny video. This just like screenshot is so fucking good.
Your original Halo Beauty booster supplement.
Oh!
Which are the real ones?
Can I just say I love you guys for putting a Halo question on this?
So, Jeffree using Tati's makeup brand, James using a Jeffree Star Myrrh, and just Tati Westbrook there. Something so great about this.
I just received my package from Halo Beauty. This is Tati's brand
His voice is so fucking...
new brand. I did not tell Tati that I was buying these, but I did pay for these myself because I just wanted to support her, and I was so happy. I know she's getting a lot of backlash on this, which is making me so mad because I know she's worked so hard on these.
That's just observably untrue.
Thank
And
you.
the video is filled with all kinds of half-truths like that she uses to make James look like the worst person ever. Now, this part to me in her apology was weird when she claims she never called James a predator.
I never called James Charles a predator, and I never said that James Charles was a danger to society.
Yeah, I guess she didn't, but at the same time, she literally said this.
Oh my god, you tried to trick a straight man into thinking he's gay yet again, and somehow you're the victim. You know, it's really disgusting to manipulate someone's sexuality, especially when they are still, you know, emerging into adulthood and don't quite have everything figured out. You are using your fame, your power, your money to play with people's emotions. You're threatening to ruin them. You're threatening to...
And I love straight boy, and I love straight boy. Remember when she says that?
them, and you're doing that to have them behave sexually in your favor, even if they're straight. And you know what? That's not okay. You were talking
In detail about things you want to do to the waiter. And whenever I told James he's straight, you said,
your response was, doesn't
matter,
I'm
I'm
a
famous.
celebrity.
Oh, I'm a
So
celebrity.
Freaking gross.
And then she goes on an Instagram comment at the time and says predatory behavior should always be called out. So basically my question for her is, if you didn't call James a predator, then what else do you call somebody who uses their power and influence and money
so
to
fucking
coerce
gross.
other people into doing actions they don't
Happy
want? Because
birthday.
that's literally what you accused him of doing in the video. Now, the whole "it was never about vitamins" thing is
A lie.
little ridiculous, because in her apology video, she actually contradicts herself. I'm not sure if she caught that.
I did not make my video because of vitamins.
Well,
12 seconds later.
James Charles's Sugar Bear Hair sponsorship and all of the drama that had kicked up afterwards, that was just my breaking point.
What I want to know is, why was the vitamin sponsorship the breaking point, and not all of this disturbing stuff that you thought James Charles was doing to minors? That's a lot.
My video was not made with any malice.
And the whole idea that there is no malice in her video is ridiculous.
Bullshit.
Because she sets up Shane and Jeffree's involvement in it as being completely negative and motivated by jealousy, which, by the way, I completely believe it was. But then she frames her involvement as not being motivated by the vitamins that she mentions for longer than she talks about anything else in that video. But
it's
instead
literally called
about the
By
fact that she
Sister.
wanted to
Yeah.
fight James.
Thank you for
So
following.
when you pair up with my #1 competitor, it's embarrassing to me. Is it going to crush my business? No. but it's embarrassing.
Well, you never know, Tati. You never know. You never know, babe.
And you know that.
I would say there's so much malice towards James in that Bye Sister video that Tati is treating him harsher than she's treating other people.
It's a horrible thing to tell a person, like, hey, it's sunshiny outside, don't feel bad about whatever you're going through. And I always like to tell people, pain is pain, and yeah, at some point you have to feel it.
Bye Sister is so silly. I bet she had so many working titles. I would love for her to go on the record telling us what the other titles were probably going to be. Or, like, what the, like, Breaking My Silence, you know, one would have been called. I just love it. I love the idea of, like, I wonder if they have, like, a list, you know what I mean? Like, we'll use Breaking My Silence today, and we'll use, you know, Holding Myself Accountable next year, and you know what I mean? Maybe they, like, pass them around. Oh, just kicked myself.
I'm just picturing Sugar Bear Hair's reaction to all of this.
Free promo. They're probably loving it, lapping it up.
Press it, release it, and then set it down and move ahead.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
How entitled do you have to be to think that you have it rough? You are a 19-year-old millionaire. You do not get to wake up and...
Oh my god.
You
Her video is so harsh.
know, stress out about how unfair your job is. Like, that's just so ridiculous to me.
I mean,
This
yeah,
all being because he didn't promote her vitamins is crazy.
having watched her 40-minute apology multiple times and then rewatching Bye Sister multiple times, which is also 40 minutes, I only really saw one claim from her apology that I could verify as being true from watching Bye Sister. And that was the fact that Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star probably were sending her stuff, because she does mention that.
The behavior that I don't think I can even talk about, like the DMs that I'm getting and the things that I'm hearing are so gross that I don't think that I can protect that, and I don't think I can help that. And
Fair enough.
I have to let this go.
I believe that she did believe the things that Shane and Jeffree were sending her. So I'm not going to hold her responsible for truly believing that James Charles was this kind of person, because it seems like she did. Especially when you consider the fact that Jeffree Star has successfully
Bye, Jeffree Star. You're a monster. My experience. Video from Blair White.
made other people believe that about James as well. Like Blair.
Oh my god,
So my conclusion is
there was
pretty
just so much drama in 2020. Holy fuck, how do we even keep up? Jesus Christ.
simple. Did she get manipulated into believing things? Yes, absolutely. Did she get manipulated into the act of filming a 40-minute video in which she doesn't even talk about those things, and she instead drags James for a bunch of other stuff that has nothing to do with it? No, how could you possibly get manipulated into doing that? That was a choice. And I find the fact that she can't take some accountability for it to be kind of pathetic. Now, before we go forward with this video, I want to give a rundown of exactly what happened in 2019, right after Tati uploaded Bye Sister. And instead of going with Tati's teary-eyed version of events, let's take a look at what actually went down. So, Tati's video was
Not her
initially
teary-eyed
taken as the
version.
factual truth, despite there being no evidence. If you look at it, you can see the like-to-dislike ratio was surprisingly good for it to have 15
Wow.
million views at the time. Just hours after she put that
3 million likes on that video? Fuck, mama.
video out and people didn't really know whether it was true or not, James Charles released an apology.
Oh,
in
God.
which he didn't contradict anything she said. It honestly made him look super guilty, and it was pretty bad. This was exacerbated when shortly thereafter, Jeffree Star
The
started
title just being Tati. Yeah.
posting on Twitter that
It was a
everything Tati
bad
Westbrook said
video.
was true, and that he has even
It was awful.
more scathing evidence that James Charles is a danger to society. James Charles went radio silent,
Thank you.
and then Tati Westbrook posted a video called Why I Did. In this video,
Oh my god, everyone forgets about this video, including me, that she uploaded this video, and she was like, if I could take it back, I could. Who remembers this video? I forgot about this one.
she stood by all of her points, but she kind of plays this saint-like role in which she claims she doesn't want there to be any hate sent towards James.
I do really want the hate to stop.
So she's pretty much having her cake and eating it here too, because she started a massive hate wave against James by claiming that he's done extremely serious things that should be criticized. And now she's also seeming like the bigger person for discouraging everyone from sending him hate. So in retrospect, I have to give her
Oh my god, all of my social medias that I would like watch content on were filled with videos being like James Charles's sub count, or who, like Tati Westbrook versus James Charles, you know, subscribers or dislikes, or Shane
Hashtag
Dawson
Purple
or
Heart.
something like that. Thank you. It was crazy. You could not escape those videos.
Props that was actually kind of well thought. At this point, James Charles was losing everything. He lost 1 million subscribers that first day. It was so ridiculous that people were having James Charles subscriber count watch parties where they were just live streaming his count going down, down, and down.
And this was one of the main reasons that YouTube got rid of the sub count thing as well, so that this or sub count live count, so that this wouldn't happen. Like, people wouldn't be able to join a downfall party again of a YouTuber and all mass unsubscribing or something. Like, YouTube, changed it because of this.
And this was back when they used to show the whole subscriber count, not just the abbreviated version. These watch parties were so huge that the biggest one I was able to find had 32 million views. His public support was dropping as well, which exacerbated the sub loss.
People were making so much money off of this. So much money off of this. Just day-to-day people who were doing, streaming parties.
Yeah, unfollowed by his traditional celebrity mutuals like Miley Cyrus, the Kardashians, Ariana Grande. The mainstream media was covering James Charles left and right, which in retrospect is ridiculous because all that happened was that someone made a YouTube video about him. I'm not just talking about entertainment-focused publications like Cosmo or Entertainment Tonight. I mean international mainstream media like the BBC, NBC, CNN, etc. But just when it kind of seems like everything was one and done for James Charles, he pulled the biggest Uno reverse card in the history of YouTube. 10 days after Tati's scathing video, James Charles drops a much more scathing video called No More Lies. In this video, he offers...
This video was, the single greatest, and I'm not the biggest James Charles fan. This video was the single greatest thing anyone has ever done on YouTube to respond to a scandal. The way him and his PR team handled it was insane.
When James threw a tantrum after Ariana Grande unfollowed him.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. This video was crazy. Him and his PR team were on it so fucking fast.
There's a systematic rebuttal to pretty much everything.
It's also important to note when we're watching this video that a lot of the things that he's denouncing, he has been accused of yet again. So just keep that in mind also.
One of Tati's points. But unlike her, he actually has screenshots. And yeah, it wasn't looking good for Tati. So once the world realized how ridiculous we were being for just believing this vitamin lady solely because
not vitamin lady
was very professionally presented, we kind of stopped doing that. Public perception swung back in James's favor, and people waited to see if Tati Westbrook had anything to say about it. And she didn't. She vaguely claimed that James Charles was spreading half-truths, but somehow couldn't point out
192,000 likes. She was still getting public support like crazy though. You know what I mean? She's still getting public support like crazy. Nearly 200,000 likes on this tweet.
To a single one. So
yeah, I've left town. She ran from home.
Yeah, her reputation was pretty much done. In the long run, there was a temporary net loss for James because he was at 16 million. He dropped down to 13 million. But then he shot back up to 15 million after he defended himself. And by now, he's way past all those numbers. Meanwhile, Tati Westbrook is bleeding subscribers, along with Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson. Tati privated the video and then never spoke about it again. Until her apology when she claims it was all manipulation and she wasn't really trying to be mean. So, yeah.
11 million views. I'm trying to decide whether that's a lot in the grand scheme of how big the Bi Sister video was or not. What do we think? Is that the Bi Sister video got 100 million views or something? Wait, I think that might be an exaggeration. Bi Sister, Tati Westbrook. How many views did Bi Sister get? 50, 60, 70 mil or something like that? Yeah, for sure over 50 mil. So 11 million is an absolute ton. Yeah, I'm aware of that, but when you compare it to the damage that was done from the Bi Sister video, it's actually not that much. I know that sounds crazy to be 11 million is not that much because that's 11 million people, but 11 million compared to 100 million views. You know what I mean?
As you can see, the real version of events is a little bit different than what was presented in her apology, so that's very interesting. At no point did Tati Westbrook actually take accountability for lying and trying to manipulate people into believing that James Charles was a predator. And until she does that, I'm not quite sure how much I can respect her as a content creator. Not like it matters, because she still has like 10 million subscribers, even with all the ones she's lost. So before part 2, the last thing I want to do with Tati Westbrook's apology video is look at the emotional manipulation. Because, oh my gosh, what is happening? There's literally so much emotional manipulation in that apology video. To begin with, she literally opens the video by crying.
I just want to tell you that I missed you guys.
That I missed you guys. This is... Why did she start the video like this? Why did she feel the need to start the video like this? I just miss you guys. Mama, cut that part out.
A lot.
She's acting like she's been gone for so long, but I looked and there was only 7 weeks between that apology.
No way! It felt like she was gone for like years. What? Holy shit!
Grab my eye drops, then hit record.
Latest normal upload, so I've literally taken breaks longer than that. Even if she really was that broken up about it, I still find it quite disingenuous to put a clip of you sobbing to start off your video in which you're trying to take accountability for your actions. It's like a very cheap appeal to pathos. Logos? Is it pathos or logos? I don't know. I haven't been to college in a long time, okay? I also found it manipulative how she gave an excuse for not showing any evidence in this 40-minute video.
Bye, Peggy.
Again.
Good luck.
Now, I will say, the first reason she gave, which was legal reasons, I completely understand. I don't think there's anything wrong with what she said here.
I'm sorry I was unable to provide you with receipts.
But there never was any legal thing. I don't like when people lie. She's not telling the truth here. She's not telling the truth. We never heard any legal things.
I'm sure you want. I've told you everything that I can right now. The remainder will be handled privately or at a time that I choose to speak publicly on it again.
Then she goes with the whole, there are bigger problems route.
Our world seems to be falling apart all around us, so the last thing you
People give Jeffree criticism when he does this, so I feel like it's important to give Tati it as well whenever you're, like, deflecting.
need me to do is fuel more hate by releasing my receipts and voice memos.
This has been
But if you have them, then when you want to show them
onto the people asking for proof. Now we seem like bad people for daring to ask for some screenshots when there are bigger issues in the world. But that's ridiculous because there are always bigger issues than any issue. There are bigger issues than the bigger issues. We can focus on more than one thing at a time. Even when she directly apologizes to James, she still makes excuses for her actions by claiming she is apologizing for allowing herself to be manipulated.
James, I am so sorry that I allowed myself to be poisoned.
Oh, so dramatic.
I'm sorry that I bought into any of their lies. Believing those lies and allowing myself to be...
Oh my god, did she take any responsibility in this video? They're poison! They're poison!
Gaslit into making that video is one of the biggest regrets of my life.
There's nothing necessarily wrong with allowing yourself to be manipulated. That just means you're a victim. So she's apologizing for being a victim. And I'm sorry that she's a victim of manipulation too. That probably is the worst feeling ever. But if you can't apologize for your actions, then why are you apologizing at all?
James, I apologize for uploading that video. I should have known better than to fall for their lies.
No! Oh my god. That sentence would be fine if she didn't continue it. Why did she feel the need to add that at the end?
Manipulation. But in the end, I failed. And instead, I allowed Shane and Jeffree to put a wedge between our friendship.
I mean, even if all of this is true, and I do believe her, it's like, it's not really what you should be including. You know what I mean? I believe her in what she's saying here, but like when you say it, why are you putting this in an apology video?
I know weird how she frames herself as a victim and kind of a Jesus figure when it comes to her and Jeffree's friendship.
My intentions with Jeffree were good, but I was a fool for thinking that I could ever help him become a better person.
Wanting to help someone become a better person is a pretty noble reason for sticking around them, but it doesn't explain why you're publicly hyping them up and using your platform to associate with a known racist. I mean, Jeffree's makeup is literally in the background.
Young,
of
thank
her
you
video.
for subscribing.
For some twisted sense of civic duty, I thought it was my responsibility to stay in Jeffree's life and try to help him become a better person.
Her argument is basically, I'm such a good person that I had to stick around this terrible person.
I even tried to get him involved with my favorite charity.
Her main takeaway, or I guess her main lesson that she learned, is not to allow yourself to be manipulated. But what does that have to do with her actions, once again?
I appeal you to please take something from my hard lesson learned.
The lighting in this video is so annoying. Tati, the caregiver.
And be careful who you let influence your decisions. What you see in the media online and what you hear from friends is not always the truth. Do not allow yourself to be manipulated into doing harm in the name of justice.
In fact,
in the name of justice? In the name of justice? Her video was in the name of justice? I don't know about all that.
the manipulation excuse gets a bit flimsy when she reveals a little too much. She says that she chose to upload that video even though she suspected that it might make James Charles hurt himself.
The night before posting my video, Bye Sister, I texted Shane sharing my concerns for James Charles, that he was out of the country on the high floor of a hotel and
he was in Australia. He was doing a meet and greet the next day, which is crazy. I wonder if that ended up happening. James Charles.
When you said she reads off a script, you really meant a G's.
Uh-huh. Meet and greet. Okay. Oh, so he did go to it. 12th of May. So this was right after. Look at the amount of people. Not this. Who or what is this? Lovely boy. I've never heard of him, her. I mean, the spirit's there. Anyway, so this was the day after.
Screaming, sobbing, and smiles, all there to see one person.
Oh my god, it is so crazy to imagine that he did this the night or the morning after that video was posted. So you're telling me that he posted that really bad, like, Tati video? You know that one?
LA-based beauty YouTuber James Charles arrived extra fashionably late.
The Gold Coast is literally one of my favorite places on earth.
Hundreds had queued overnight to secure prime position.
A little bit tired, but it's fine. I'm meeting James.
Cassidy Lewis is
I wonder
as
if
loyal
these
as
people would queue, like, this day, you know what I mean?
fans come.
We've been here since 11 p.m. last night. We didn't sleep.
500
Aw,
lucky
I don't want to make fun of them, but...
fans won a special ticket to meet the internet sensation. Thousands of others were ecstatic just to catch a glimpse. Awesome! Like, I've never won anything in my life, so this is really awesome. He gave makeup tips tailored to Queenslanders.
A lot of setting spray and a lot of powder to lock it in all day long.
16 million follow his online posts, but this free meet and greet is promotion money can't buy. Every selfie, tweet and Snapchat post.
You've got millions of reach just for the Gold Coast.
On the Gold Coast, Crystal Etherington, 7 News.
Ugh, I thought
You land the world's largest...
Jesus, I thought they were going to talk about the drama. James Charles leaves Australian fans waiting for 2 hours at a meet and greet amid the Tati Westbrook drama. Controversial YouTuber has lost within 48 hours. However, after failing to turn up at 10 a.m., he showed up 2 hours later. These poor people, he spoke for 7 minutes, and that was it. Okay, interesting.
I was afraid for him hurting himself. Shane texted me back and said that I should not be nervous about the 50th floor, that James Charles was a narcissist, and that he would never do that.
You know, going forward with something that you think might cause a friend, former friend, any kind of friend to end their life, just because Shane Dawson said it was okay, does not mean
It's such
you're
a bad
not
statement.
wrong in that situation. I just think it's a good thing that nothing did happen to anybody involved. I don't want anybody to wind up in the news, but that's really disturbing that she thought that was going to make her seem better somehow. And then I debated talking about my last point in this whole manipulation part, but There's too much crying in that video, okay? I'm sorry, I had to say it. Maybe I didn't.
Oh, God. Yeah, Mama was snotty. I'm feeling like I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Maybe I sound like I have no empathy right now. It's because I don't. Not for that. Now, let's be clear. I do feel sorry for her crying because she's a victim of manipulation. Like I said, I believe that. I don't think she's lying. I don't even think she's fake crying.
You are fake crying! You are fake crying!
I don't feel sorry for her when I see the crying, though, because she chose to leave that in the video. And that, to me, just really comes across as manipulative. Now, if this was an unedited video, just 40 minutes coming straight from the heart, bro, cry as much as you want. You know, just go ham. Cry me a river, as far as I'm concerned. I think everybody should cry for 40 minutes straight, unironically. But, this video was edited. It had jump cuts. Cumulatively speaking,
yeah,
Tati
so she
and her
included
editors
it.
Decided to leave nearly 2 minutes of silent,
Sorry, it's just like a really funny like slideshow.
Crying in this video. That is ridiculous.
I promised my dad I wasn't gonna cry.
The whole I promised my dad I wouldn't cry angle is like the biggest feel sorry for me, and sadly it has the opposite effect on me.
And I really promised to not cry during this video, and I just could not do it. It's been a lot of pain.
Ultimately, I find Tati Westbrook's apology video to be a mixed bag. It had everything I hate in an apology video: the excessive crying, the lack of accountability, playing the victim, outright lying, blame shifting. But, on the other hand, I truly do believe she was telling the truth about Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star being such vindictive manipulators. And so I'm glad she was able to speak up about that. I just still find it sad that she felt the need to be so vindictive and manipulative in her By Sister video, and seems completely incapable of taking any sort of responsibility for that. So makes it kind of hard for me to feel sorry for her. I don't know.
I don't think there's any getting through to you, and I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to be associated with you.
Oh my God, so dramatic.
And I need to say that very publicly so that this chapter can just be closed.
All right, so we're here in part 2. You know, I've talked a little bit about the apology video, but now I want to talk about this in a general sense. I have opinions on Tati Westbrook. I have opinions on how everyone reacted to this whole situation. I even have opinions on YouTube because YouTube stepped in, and they don't usually do that. So I'm going to cover all of that in this part. And I want to start by looking at why this James Charles smear campaign was so effective at first before James stood up for himself. Now, it had all the elements of a good smear campaign. There were motivations. Jeffree Star.
I wonder whenever James was making his No More Lies video, if he like handed over his phone to like his team to like go through and find all the like text messages and like, you know, all of these, you know, different things, or if he like spent days doing it himself. What do we think, chat? Because there was a lot of screenshots, a lot of, you know, do we think like he got someone professionally involved or he did it himself? What would we think? Or maybe just like his friend group who like know the drama or something.
Was obviously trying to knock James Charles out of the top spot that James had just taken from Jeffree just a few months prior. And it's pretty safe to say that By Sister temporarily did that. Too bad it didn't last. Shane Dawson was literally using that situation for profit by using it to falsely advertise the documentary series commercial for his new makeup collaboration. A new makeup collaboration with Jeffree Star, who would have also benefited from having James Charles in a worse position since James was also in the makeup market.
Yeah, I agree.
And Tati's motivations were pretty obvious. I think she was just mad. So together they hatched a plot to take James Charles down. And I honestly find the way they did it to be pretty insidious. Framing James Charles as a danger to straight men was very precise and intentional. Tati Westbrook and Jeffree Star both did this. So part of the reason that people didn't really question Tati's original narrative was because she was actually feeding us a much older narrative. She basically paints James Charles the exact same way society used to paint gay men before they were seen as human beings, basically.
I remember this. Okay. This is one of the most controversial points in his video, that D'Angelo was like basically pushing that Tati Westbrook was being homophobic, and that her video was homophobic, everything she was doing against James is homophobic, all these different things. Do I believe that Tati Westbrook was being homophobic? No. Do I believe that Tati Westbrook was trying to fill the agenda of what people stereotypically think gay men are like? No. Do I believe that James Charles had been inappropriate or forceful or something with straight men that made her come to that conclusion? Yeah, because we've seen it so many times. So I think that D'Angelo's, homophobic, arc thing that he's doing here was stupid. I think it was stupid in the moment whenever he said it, and I still think it is. I just think it doesn't have any relevance. I'm gonna be honest.
You see, Ralph was a homosexual.
And I think in the past, maybe I've, kind of agreed. Maybe it is coming across as homophobic, or I think I even have said on YouTube that. But I think looking back on it now, no, I think that is her being completely taken out of context, and I think people just trying to fill a narrative. I don't think that applies at all. So I am going to change my mind on that.
A person who demands an intimate relationship with members of their own sex.
Oh my god, you tried to trick a straight man into thinking he's gay.
I don't think this has any relevance.
And somehow you're the victim.
By now, Jimmy felt a fondness
Thank
for
you,
Ralph,
Chloe.
and they continued to go places together. Ralph was generous and took Jimmy many interesting places.
Is this a documentary about gay men?
You are using your fame, your power, your money to play with people's emotions.
Nah, this point fell flat for me from D'Angelo. I think it's a stupid point.
What presents and even gave him money.
Thank you,
But payments
Blossom.
were expected in return. You see, Jimmy hadn't recognized Ralph's approach soon enough.
It's really disgusting to manipulate someone's sexuality, especially when they are still, emerging into adulthood and don't quite have everything figured out.
It's literally the same narrative. Rehashing points from Boys Beware.
It's not. It's not. It's not. It's really not.
In current year is already a pretty disturbing thing to do, but knowingly doing this specifically to get back at somebody because
did he say specifically?
Still figured out.
It's from Boys Beware in current year is already a pretty disturbing thing to do, but knowingly doing this specifically to get back at somebody.
No, he said specifically.
Because
I had a teacher who used to say specifically, and it used to just piss me off, but he did say specifically.
You didn't like what he did about your business is absolutely ridiculous. In a way, I actually don't even have time to get into just how gross that is, but there's a really good video about that.
This is such a reach. Y'all are right. This is such a reach.
By the YouTuber Big Joel, so you can find that and watch it if you want to. Another reason that this smear campaign worked so well and everyone believed it was because Tati set up James to fail with all of his responses. She claims that he was beyond help.
I don't think there's any getting through to you, and I don't want to be friends with you. This person is someone that I absolutely loved, cared for, and would have spent
her nose highlights
good
here.
But he's just too far gone at this point.
And as simple as a statement as that is, that actually made it seem like everything he did from that point on, he was just guilty, trying to make us believe that he was innocent. When in reality, he was literally innocent, just fighting back against rumors that he was guilty. I mean, surely... Tati knew that people believe the first thing they hear, especially if the source sounds credible. That's how similar things happened with Slazo or Spoctor. After that, this greedy, unremorseful predator narrative was all it really took for people to start recontextualizing every single thing that James Charles had ever done. Now all of a sudden his relationships with his fellow teenage friends were predatory. Now all of a sudden the collaborations that he did with real life celebrities were motivated by greed. Suddenly, everyone was justified in finding him annoying. Now, I know Tati Westbrook apologized for this.
What if he just is annoying? Have we ever considered that, D'Angelo? What if he just was annoying?
It's good, I guess, but I really feel that people don't talk enough about the effect that this had on James Charles. I mean, he said point blank that it sent him into a dark place.
I'm so glad that you have that friend group, because
Me too.
especially during your last, like, whole scandal thing, if you didn't have that, like, that would have been so difficult.
If I didn't have that, I would be dead right now. Like, I say that, like, not even, like, being dramatic. I don't think I would have made it through everything that went on, like, without them being with me and making sure that I was okay, and, like, waking up in the middle of the night to check on me, like, every 10 minutes. Make sure
Nightmare, blunt rotation. Sorry, I know it's not the point. Joey Graceffa, Nikita Dragon, and James Charles. I can't imagine anything worse than sitting around this campfire.
like, literally do something dangerous.
And the fact that Tati Westbrook published this video, knowing that it had the potential to do that, is something I think she should catch a lot more flack for. Anyway, I think the fact that people were so willing to believe Tati at first says a lot about society, unironically. I, for one, had to confront my biases in a pretty direct way after that, and honestly, maybe it was for the best. Alright, so now that I've looked at why the James Charles smear campaign was so effective on people, I want to look at why it was so effective on YouTube in the algorithm. After all, racking up over 50 million views before Tati got rid of it. It was literally one of the highest viewed call-out videos of all time. And when videos get a lot of views on YouTube, people do what they always do, which is start making extremely similar videos. Basically, Tati Westbrook accidentally started the trend of the 40-minute expose. Now, granted, hers was not the very first one, but after that, oh boy, were there a lot. Now that there was a YouTube trend, we saw a ton of videos in an identical format.
Yeah, 50 million is
Tati
insane.
versus James for 40 minutes, we had Deji versus KSI for 40 minutes, Jesse Smiles versus Gabby Hanna for 30 minutes, Stephanie Sue versus Nikocado Avocado for around 50 minutes. Twice. H3H3 versus Keemstar for 40 minutes, Simply Nessa versus Tana Mojo for 40 minutes, me versus Shalom Lester for 40 minutes. Twice. Yeah, it was kind of a lot. Even the thumbnails for these 40-minute expose videos are similar. This format of video got so popular that people started turning it into a meme. Now it's a joke that if you mess up online, someone's gonna make a 40-minute exposed video about you. Last year, during his beef with his brother Deji, KSI said on Twitter,
There's so many apology videos
Tati
during
versus
this time.
video
Yeah.
and thinking I'm gonna reply. 40-minute exposed videos are the new diss tracks. That's actually funny though, because he literally did reply for over an hour. So, when he said 40-minute videos are the new diss tracks, he wasn't just talking about in terms of disrespect. He means that they're literally statistical anomalies in the algorithm. See, a few years before the 40-minute expose was the hot stuff, diss tracks actually were. People like
the diss track era. The diss track era. Diss track era.
Rice Gum and the Paul brothers would call each other out in diss track music videos.
100 and like 200 million views. Thank you, Ali.
200 million views. As you can see, these videos were just as prevalent as the 40-minute call out. Now, these videos racked up more views than normal videos because they were also music videos, and YouTube promotes music on the site differently than it does normal videos. Usually, content is only promoted to people who watch similar content, but music videos are promoted to everybody. It's really not very likely that...
Can you imagine, like, your grandma going online and getting recommended a Logan Paul diss track just because it's a song? YouTuber like, Grandma will love this.
All 200 million people knew who Logan Paul was before clicking into this video. All they knew, and all the algorithm knew, was, hey, this is a music video, I like music. Now, this trend has slowed down a bit, as these diss tracks have fallen out of favor,
Thank
obviously.
God.
And YouTube makes subtle tweaks to its ever-elusive algorithm, so you can't quite achieve the same level of success. YouTube started pushing people to make content longer than these short-form videos. And then, that's exactly why Tati wound up doing so well. You may have noticed, but YouTube content in general has just kind of gotten longer. Longer videos get more...
And I'm so glad it has as well. I used to be someone, oh, my attention span... thank you so much, Eliza. I was like, oh, you know what? I love TikTok. I love TikTok. I always loved Vine. I love, snappy content. But most of the time, snappy content is not what I want to watch. It's long-form content. Podcasts, something I can have on the background. How am I going to eat my dinner and watch TikTok at the same time? I'm using my phone. If I put on a long form content, I can watch and then, you know what I mean?
Views because people click into it more than once to watch it in parts.
Thank you, Millie.
And they do better in the algorithm
Still
because
softish, diss track still bops.
I have no idea what that is.
longer videos mean people are watching it for longer, aka spending more time on your channel, which makes your channel perform better.
Me too, Kaylee.
wants
Oh,
you
hi,
to spend
Kaylee.
more time
Voice
watching YouTube. See, look, here are the analytics on my bonus channel, where I only upload 10-minute videos. As you can see, in total, people have spent 3 million hours watching my content, which equates to about 340 years. A few of my videos there do really well, but for the most part, they just perform at the average you would expect from a channel that size. Now compare that to this channel we're on right now, where I post much longer videos, and as you can see, I have a total of 11 million hours of watch time. That's a whopping 1,200 years. So the potential for views on this channel is much higher than it is on my other channel, and that's why my last 5 videos all have more views than I actually have subscribers. It's part of the reason Shane Dawson was so successful when he came back with his documentary episodes. It's the reason creators who make really good short-form content, like Gus Johnson, still pepper in a really good longer video every now and then. All this to say, Tati Westbrook accidentally cracked the YouTube algorithm, and from a nerd's perspective, I just find that to be incredibly cool. But guess who didn't think it was very cool at all? YouTube themselves. Now, YouTube is a pretty laid-back company.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like an email or something that they had sent her, and they were like, this is like a really bad look for our platform, and we need you to take this down immediately.
They're hands off for the most part, which I appreciate. And I'm not just saying that because they send me a check every month. For the most part, YouTube lets the community take care of itself. So even when creators on the platform do really bad things, usually the backlash is going to come from the community. But after Bisister, YouTube decided to step in. The Bisister controversy was the worst PR fiasco that YouTube had to deal with since Logan Paul wandered into a specific forest that one time. Like I said, it was getting worldwide press coverage. People who didn't even watch YouTube were hearing about James Charles and Tati Westbrook. And that's not really a great introduction to YouTube, now is it? And this was actually different than the Logan Paul video, because interestingly enough, Logan didn't lose any subscribers for that controversy.
It is so crazy to imagine that Tati's fucking video ended up in like the mainstream news. Thank you, Liza, for coming over.
I'm going to touch on in my two-part series about the Paul brothers. Just kidding. Unlike the Logan Paul fiasco, James Charles was bleeding subscribers, so it had that extra element of watching the numbers go down in real time. Like I said, they were having James Charles subscriber count watch parties and everything. People were celebrating this. Now, even though it got resolved within a matter of days and James Charles bounced back pretty quickly, the damage had been done, and it left YouTube looking for ways to make sure it never happened again. So they disabled the live subscriber count. See, YouTube.com has gone through all—
Oh my god, Paris Hilton, hey BFF! Oh wait, there you go. Right there. Oh my god, YouTube used to be so 2000s looking, right? Wow. Oh my god, promoting her album. Lol. Yeah, I think that this was the best thing YouTube like could have done, you know, like showing the like live feeds and stuff like that. I think it allowed a lot of abuse towards it, and I kind of agreed with their point. What I don't agree with is them disabling the dislikes, and I will always stand behind that.
All kinds of changes in its history. They've added features like the join button or the mini player. They've taken features away like the annotations or Luffy's channel. But they've never changed the way numbers are displayed, like the views or the subscriber count or the number of comments in the 15 years that they've existed, until 11 days after Bisister was uploaded. And YouTube announced that they were abbreviating the subscriber
right after,
not just on the channel page, but across their entire API. Changing the API meant websites using the API, like live subscriber count websites, could no longer update subscriber by subscriber. Now, everyone's sub count—
No, it's important to note, though, that, like, the actual creator can see their live count in our analytics, but, like, other people can't.
Displays in only 3 numbers at a time. So if you have, like, 1,360,000 subscribers, for example, it's only going to show the first 3 numbers, 1 through 6. So
yeah, Tati changing the internet.
And because of that means my subscriber count is not going to go up until I've accumulated over 10,000 subscribers. And somebody in the double digits of the millions, like James Charles, now he's not going to show any subscriber count gain or loss until he has accumulated 100,000 subscribers. In other words, there's just nothing to watch. Even when people are in the process of losing a ton of subscribers, the count just stays there until the unexpected time when it goes down by 100,000. Now, YouTube, of course, claimed that they were doing this merely to achieve a consistent look across the website, but that certainly doesn't explain why they had to go and change the API itself. In fact, the live subscriber count is still counted. I can see it in my analytics. So it's not like YouTube stopped counting it. They just stopped sending it out to the other websites. Overall, I think this was kind of a sad update, personally, because I still have footage from seeing the rush of getting that one subscriber that pushes you over the edge into a new milestone. But ultimately, I guess it worked out for YouTube because there are no more of these watch parties. And on top of that, the fact that there are no more of these means I think people are unsubscribing less. Shane Dawson's an example of somebody going...
I think that is a good point as well, that like people are, you know, kind of engaging with YouTube channels statistically less now that dislikes aren't shown, or that, you know, when you subscribe, you know, it really isn't shown, like all those different things. I think that's a very interesting point, and I wonder if that was YouTube's aim to kind of cut back on interactions. Like, that it doesn't make sense why they would want to do that. Like, surely you would want as many interactions as possible, but I guess whatever.
Going through a similarly sized controversy. He has lost over 1 million subscribers in a month, but James Charles lost that on the first day. And James didn't even do the most egregious things he was being accused of. So the last
well, you know, we'll not jump to conclusions yet, D'Angelo.
YouTube did as part of their cleanup was asking Tati Westbrook to remove the video. Now, I'm just getting this straight from Tati. She actually claims that YouTube is the one that asked her to take it down because it wasn't a good look.
It's also really bad that Tati came out and said that. Like, she said that YouTube made her delete the video. Like, she could have lied and came out and been like, you know, I want to delete it. You know, it was going too far. She would look so much better than being like, YouTube begged me to take a time.
I did my video at the
to cut down on negative interactions, but it inevitably cuts out all of them. Yeah.
Request of YouTube, because YouTube said it was a bad look for their platform.
I, for one, am inclined to believe her because all the other changes they made line up with the time frame that she removed that video. She technically would have removed it just a couple days within the announcement of them changing the subscriber count. I'm unaware of any other cases where YouTube asked a creator to take down a video. It does make sense though. I mean, YouTube can't just outright remove the video for no reason, because then that's a bad look for them. And also, even if they suppress the video in the algorithm, that's not going to stop anything since most people were watching it because of word of mouth and the fact that it was embedded on almost every mainstream media news site. So how else could they really stop all the attention besides asking Tati to take the video down herself? So that's how Tati Westbrook...
It's interesting that they asked her to take the video down and didn't just, like, delete it, you know what I mean? Because YouTube could have just deleted the video, striked her channel, done whatever.
Starting an entire trend of new content, setting forward a chain reaction that led to a record of the most subscribers lost in a day for James Charles.
Wow.
And getting YouTube themselves to step in an unprecedented way. All because of what she said in a 40-minute video.
Yeah.
And people reacted to it. With all that being said, I just think it's interesting that the video is technically private, not deleted. Meaning it's still there on the website. Imagine if she got bored and decided to make it public one day again. Alright, so for this last section of part 2, I'm just going to go ahead and give my opinion on Tati Westbrook. You know, I've said a lot about her videos, I've said a lot about her involvement, but I do have some opinions on her as a person. Throughout all of this, Tati Westbrook has been the target of major criticism for what I hope are obvious reasons. And while some of that is certainly deserved, I can't help but notice the type of criticism that she gets compared to the other two people involved is actually kind of disturbing.
I think this is what we were talking about earlier, about it being very sexist.
So before I say my opinion, I actually want to defend her. First of all, let it be known that Tati Westbrook is nowhere near as bad as Jeffree Star or Shane Dawson. Here's a recap. Jeffree Star is a habitual liar, a self-proclaimed blackmailer. He tried to manipulate other creators into attacking James Charles. He never properly apologized for his extensive history of racism. And he's mean. I know that's a weird criticism, but Jeff is a weird man. Shane Dawson, on the other hand, kissed a 12-year-old on the lips on camera, got freaky with his pets on camera, uploaded content that was legitimately harmful by spreading misinformation about mental disorders as well as conspiracies, disingenuously joined the beauty community solely to sell a product, and then immediately leaving and calling everyone toxic, even though he was never actually part of it. I mean, he's done more blackface than makeup looks, for crying out loud. And on top of that, he never uses a tripod. Like, you know, honestly, I think the dog and
soap
is probably enough
deodorant
to prove my point that Tati Westbrook's not that bad. See, Tati, on the other hand, has done none of the above. As far as I'm concerned, she just did one thing, which was upload that video. And granted, that thing was very disgusting. What she proceeded to do in that video was terrible. But it was one thing. And, according to her...
What the sad motivational music D'Angelo was using in the background. Can anyone else hear that? It's like... Doom, 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 doom.
The person she was doing it to forgave her. She doesn't have a history of this stuff. I think that's far different than people who have exhibited a pattern of this behavior, like Shane or Jeffree, and then never showed signs of changing or addressing that behavior. Besides that, I noticed that a lot of the legitimate criticism of Tati Westbrook is mixed in with a ton of ageism and sexism.
Okay,
to be
yeah, we
clear,
go.
age is an important factor in this whole situation, but ageism is not. In fact, I'm not sure if you noticed, but all the way up until this point, I haven't mentioned Tati's age once. See, I've made the mistake in the past of basing my entire argument around the fact that somebody is too old to do something, but that's honestly not fair, because older people are still people, and people do really dumb stuff regardless of how old they are. I think we should let them, instead of not allowing them any space to make mistakes. So basically, like, drag her for the mistake. Her age doesn't have anything to do with the fact that she did the wrong thing, and her age doesn't invalidate the fact that she was manipulated. She's not too old to fall.
Yeah, I think this is a good point, and I think this is something that I definitely learned as well during this full scandal, where, I mean, I used to make videos and I'd be like, Shane is too grown to be doing this, or Jeffree is too grown to be doing this, or Tati is too grown to be doing this. And I remember one day someone made a video on me and they were like, when will it get through to Adam that, like, there's not an age limit to any of this? And I think after I watched that video and I responded well to it, I was like, oh my god, I can 100% see where you're coming from. I, like, completely changed it, and anytime I would go to say that in a video, I would stop myself and I'd be like, I was gonna say this, but here's why it's wrong, and I'm not gonna say it. Like, yeah, I mean, what he's saying here is definitely something I had to learn as well whenever doing, you know, coverage of any of this stuff, especially with people who are significantly older than me. That doesn't change how, you know, I could act like them, or they could act like me, or, you know what I mean?
For somebody coming to her and spreading misinformation and her choosing to believe it. Now, like I said, I still don't think she was manipulated into uploading that video, because that's not even what she was talking about in it, so to pretend like that's the reason is a bit ridiculous. But my point still stands. This idea that she's too old to be manipulated is honestly kind of sad. In addition to people fixating on her age, there's a lot of gendered insults thrown her way. I've seen Tati Westbrook get called the B word, the C word, a hoe. Literally. I didn't see anybody calling Shane or Jeffree that, and
come over to my channel and you'll see it there.
Gonna be fully honest, it makes more sense in their case. Clearly there's this double standard going on. The gendered...
Hello? Hello? What was that little jump scare?
Insults were so strong that I feel it would be wrong for me to criticize Tati Westbrook without criticizing the people referring to her and holding her age and gender against her.
It was all your fault. It was all your fault.
Tati Westbrook, a YouTuber in her 30s.
It's so embarrassing looking at this. How old is she?
Older than myself. I'm also 32, but in her late 30s.
Yes, the two people with the highest ever, you know, who I want a moral compass, PewDiePie and Trisha Paytas.
Sorry, I need to stop calling her that. It's rude. But she really... I hate her.
Everyone criticizing her for things that she can't control is honestly...
Yeah, PewDiePie was one of the main people defending James Charles. I remember that.
I don't know, kind of boring. I also think Tati's character got a bit misjudged, because a lot of people think she was faking the crying and the drama and all that.
You were fake crying!
And I think people saying that were unfamiliar with her content. I actually went and looked at some of her older videos.
Thank you, Leonard.
Just kind of like that.
I started out this channel because I wanted to reach women, and I knew I had a story.
So is he making the point here that she's always been dramatic?
And I knew I had felt really bad about myself in the past. And any secrets or beauty tips or fashion tips that I learned along the way, I wanted to share. Holy smokes. Okay.
Yeah, she's a pretty dramatic person.
I don't believe that she's faking her personality. So basically, my defense of Tati isn't really that she didn't do anything wrong. I'm just saying, if you're going to drag her, then drag her for what she actually did, not what she can't control. So with that being said, I'm about to drag her for what she actually did. Can someone please tell Tati Westbrook that she is not a Catholic saint? Like, anyone, please tell her that. Tati spent years helping James Charles as he was a teenager.
I'm gonna be honest, this video is not hitting like the other two videos. I just, like, this D'Angelo video, I just think it's like, how did we go from, like, the Shane video and the Jeffree video with, like, an hour of, like, really, you know, back-to-back points, and this Tati one just feels like we've done 50 minutes of really nothing. You know what I mean? Like, he really shouldn't have uploaded this video because it's not good. It's, like, it's really not that good. And I just think that, like, okay, you know, he's talking about how, you know, he was doing so good doing long-form content and stuff, and the previous two videos were amazing. But it's like, he had to have known, I mean, clearly, by the way this video is laid out, that he didn't have an hour and 13 minutes worth of content, so it just feels like we're going round and round in circles.
And then the moment he makes somebody else money off of their
And this video being the reason the other two are deleted as well makes it just like... It's like, how are you going to make an hour-long video? Sorry, how are you going to make a 40-minute long video on Jeffree Star in which you talk about his racism, his lying, his all these different things, and your one on Tati Westbrook is an hour and 20 minutes? Was ist das?
Instead of hers. She drops a 40-minute video in which she makes him out to be some sort of danger to straight men everywhere. Oh, but now she's spiritual. Now the background has warm colors instead of cool colors. Now she's praying for everybody.
I've been praying every day over this event.
Okay, Tati Westbrook Baptist Church. I see the type of person you are. There is a huge power imbalance in what Tati did to James. Like I said, it doesn't matter that she was 37 years old at the time. It matters that she was twice his age. He was a teenager, and he was in a position where she was his mentor.
I was always more of a mentor than a friend to James Charles. I was someone he could lean on if he needed advice.
To intentionally take advantage of that dynamic and put him in such a terrible position just because you feel a certain way over some vitamins.
I mean, my chatter saying that this video seems super personal against Tati. Listen, I just think this video is falling flat. I mean, you know... No, I was gonna like say compliments, but like, I mean, whenever you compare it to the previous two videos he uploaded, I mean, this one does not hold up at all. At all. Not only does it not hold up, but it's just not a good video. I just think there's so much about this video that's not necessarily good.
She should be glad James forgave her because I know I wouldn't. The fact that her mind went
there, we go.
There, like, that's abnormal. And at this point, I just want to hear her verbalize it. Like, at least once. Like, say it with me. Character assassination, relying on bigotry, is a really weird reaction to a friend making a mistake. Like, please, write that on the chalkboard 100 times.
What are comments on
Call your
this?
parents. That's how you know I'm not ageist. You're almost 40? I'm still calling your mom. Besides that, she has no credibility or accountability. Like, honestly, imagine reflecting on the situation for a full year and then still not being able to admit why what you did was wrong. It's like, I guess she was self-reflecting, but instead of using a mirror, she was looking at herself in a brick wall. I don't get why all these people do the exact same thing. Like, there must be something in the water in LA that causes an allergic reaction to accountability. The fact that she can't even admit that this was over vitamins tells me everything I need to know. So many parts of her...
You know what I mean? Like, we're 50 minutes into this video and we're still on that same point. I don't mean to drag or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, this video really doesn't... I don't know.
And just seem phony.
I'm hearing a mic, though.
Even the fact that she's selling us hair and skin vitamins while wearing fake hair and a skin filter, it's weird. I find it strange. Yes, I'm going there. Tati's vitamins aren't going to make me look like Tati because Tati doesn't look like Tati. Now, granted, I'm not discouraging anyone from purchasing her vitamins because I looked into it and they actually seem like a good product. I think she's a good businesswoman. I just also think she'd be looking a little blurry in
oh my
her
god,
videos,
Linner,
in
thank
the
you
face.
so much.
Only. It's
Linner,
the lack of
thank
force
you.
for me. It's the tape-in hair extensions holding on for their dear life while you're literally selling me products to make my natural hair better for me. But it's not for me. Also, can we please
Linner,
talk about
thank
how
you.
motivated this person is? Which, by the way, same. But I think it gets really weird when you start trying to pass it off
Thank
as
you,
a
Linner.
genuine desire to help people. I mean, listen to just how hard she held the fact that she helped James Charles financially over his head as she was attacking him in her Bye Sister video.
He was making $90 a video, and because of me and my husband, he was making $2,500 immediately. If anyone ever offered a kickback, we'd say no, put it in James's pocket. Help James. I negotiated another deal, so he had on the side for him that would have given him $1 million. He got a higher percentage, so literally millions in his bank. That's just like a small sample of some of the things that we've done for James Charles.
If you're gonna do that after helping me, then honestly don't help me. So,
Sarah, thank you
honestly,
for resubbing. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Sarah.
I know that was kind of harsh, wow, but she should just be glad I wasn't being as harsh as she was while she was lying through her teeth for 40 minutes straight about a kid over some gosh darn vitamins.
I don't know when you'll see me again. Hopefully sooner than later.
Wrapping it up,
but
finally.
Thank you for hearing me out, and at some point I'll be back. And I hope that you will be back.
God, the lighting is just so bad in this video. Adam has been streaming for 2 months. Yes! Oh my god, that is so crazy to imagine. Wait, has it been 2 months? Well, yeah, this is the start of my 2nd month. My god. What a journey. What a journey. Thank you to anyone who's been here from the start.
As well.
Alright, so in part 3, I just want to look at where the situation...
Part 3?
left everyone now. Like I said in the beginning, some of them have issued some responses, even some responses to things I said in my videos, and I think it's just interesting to see like the effect that this had on everybody. So to start, I want to look at the effect this had on everyone's reputation. I mean, the Bi Sister hit piece was obviously intended to make everyone's opinion on James Charles change, and it did, but for the better, so kind of a miss for Tati. See, before Bi Sister, James Charles was pretty much just known as being immature and kind of two-dimensional. I mean, his fan base was pretty large, but outside of that, he was pretty much just that guy from YouTube who was always wearing makeup. Before the event, James was mostly talked about in a negative light outside of his channel. For some reasons that were valid, for a lot of reasons that weren't valid. Even the things that he did that were wrong were nowhere near as serious as, like, predatory behavior. But after Bi Sister...
I don't know about that.
I think James Charles is seen as a bit more mature and a bit more capable when
I also don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Comes to shove. Obviously, it was a bit rough for him during the situation, but the way he came together with the receipts and
his video was good.
Professionally, honestly, without insulting Tati Westbrook, and proved to be the more mature person in the situation, I think was kind of surprising. As for Jeffree Star, I would say Bi Sister changed him.
I think this is the part of the reason he deleted the series, Frankie said. Okay, but here's the thing. This video that he made is bad. Like, it's not really that good. So why would you delete the other two when you could have just deleted this one? Sarah Declaimer, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you, I really appreciate that. Look at cute little emojis. I don't even know I had that added. Anyway, thank you, Sarah. It just feels that, like, this one could have been deleted and nothing would have changed. Like, if I'm going to tell you the, like, information I've retained... Oh my god, Hype Train is close! If I'm going to tell you the information I've retained within the past 56 minutes, it's that... I can't do it.
Spoken and powerful to kind of weaselly and conniving. I mean, before the whole scandal... Jeffree Star was still not really considered to be a nice person, but I think he just had a lot of respect from his fans because he spoke up about things he didn't like. He had a powerful reputation, too. Anytime someone crossed him, he would kind of insinuate...
Oh my god, speaking of Mitchell, I think is how you pronounce that name, he's, like, huge on TikTok now. And he has, like, his own, like, makeup brand that's going really, really, really well. Has anyone tried it? I mean, all my friends love it. I mean, I don't know if he's problematic or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, Mema Mitchell, he's, like, he used to do collabs with Jeffree.
But I think
he did one collab with Jeffree.
Because he spoke up about things he didn't like. He had a powerful reputation, too. And
this person. Anyone know? Anyone know? Thank you, Millie. Anyone know?
Towards the Hype Train.
Thank you, Millie. Yeah, he's, like, really, really, really popular now, and his, like, makeup brand is really popular right now.
Anytime someone crossed him, he would kind of insinuate that he had the power to ruin their career, and they often did experience.
He was kind of one of the only friends of Jeffree as well that, like, got out without being exposed by Jeffree.
And some pretty big consequences. He was, like, the villain of YouTube, and to some people, that was really cool, and to other people, it was, like, not remotely cool, but it did at least seem to be backed up by actual actions. After Bi Sister, though, I'd say Jeffree's reputation is just kind of in the gutters. It's like he was a big scary balloon and then James Charles just popped it. I think it's pretty clear now that Jeffree Star has no real weight behind his words. So, like, if you're mean and powerful, I guess that's cool. But if you're mean and not powerful, then you're just what? Like
we've already watched the Shane video.
He wasn't able to back up any of his statements about James Charles was probably the single biggest thing that caused people to start looking at the other areas of his life and seeing that he couldn't back those up either. Shane Dawson, on the other hand, Bi Sister changed him from being the internet's golden boy to maybe we shouldn't go into too much detail. I think we all know what happened with Shane Dawson. I mean, before the whole drama, his documentaries were considered to be reputable.
Which is just funny to think about. Like, really funny to think about.
For some reason. And he never had a public disagreement with the creator, except Bobby Burns, and that went terribly. But he was never outwardly harsh to another creator before James Charles. And I don't think anybody thought he could be. But after everything went down and Shane made his statements, he was seen as being, like, super dishonest. Falsely using it to promote his series, falsely using it to promote his...
Okay, what does this have to do with Tati? Sorry, like, I'm getting agitated. We've watched an hour of this, and I'm like, can we focus on the points?
Criticizing James so harshly in his Welcome to the Circus statement. But like I said, there was a lot of weird stuff with kids and animals, so I think that's what we should really be focused on when it comes to Shane Dawson, more so than makeup drama. And as for Tati Westbrook,
here we go.
My sister changed her from being like this professional, unproblematic, and caring mentor figure to kind of ruthless, I think is the best way I could describe her. Yeah. I mean, before this whole thing, she was specifically known for never getting into drama with anyone. And to be fair, she never did.
Our last guest has been around forever, but somehow has not had a scandal, so we've got Tati Westbrook.
She had a few spats here and there, but for the most part, she handled them in a way that at least made her seem really good. I mean,
yeah, we are aware that, I mean, again, I said it previously, I did not know who Tati Westbrook was, before any of this, the makeup game show, and she was known as that. A couple of my friends, or my cousin actually, who really loves makeup, knew about Tati and was like, oh my god, like, she's this really unproblematic girl, she minds her own business, really talented, so, like, her reputation was amazing, and, like, Tati Westbrook's reputation now, I mean, her fan base is still her fan base. I think she's back to, like, daily posting again, or, well, at least, like, weekly, monthly, or something like that. Like, you know, she got out of it. And I would say her reputation is still the same as what it was before, which is, oh, she's unproblematic, even if she did the Bi Sister video. That's just my opinion. I feel that, like, she was able to retain it.
I really think she probably is a caring person. Her relationship with James Charles definitely seems real to me, at least. And you know, if Tati and James really did reconcile their relationship, like she said they did, that would make me happy. That's probably the best possible outcome. But after Bi Sister, unfortunately, people now know Tati kind of has a different side to her. And honestly, I think that's just kind of realistic. Now, granted,
I was about to say, is that really a bad thing, though, that Tati Westbrook has, like, a drama side to her? Don't we all? Like, has a negative side to her? Don't we all? I'm not saying that we would all do that, like, Bi Sister video, but I'm saying, like, it's almost like, I don't know how D'Angelo can give her criticism for acting like a saint, but now is, like, sanctifying her. You know what I mean?
Everybody in the entire world is going to go, you know, use bigotry to turn everybody against their friend because they didn't like one thing they did. But what I'm saying...
Bigotry? I mean, he's focusing on this homophobic point, which doesn't really apply.
...is, how much can you really expect from somebody? If you're on the internet for 10 years, you're bound to do something. It's just sad that what she did was so serious and had such a negative effect on other people. Even if people recognize that this is not a pattern of behavior for her, I think it's going to be a long time before she's able to kind of shake the reputation she brought upon herself. Right now, if you say Tati Westbrook to the average person, I think we're all just going to see her the way we saw her in the Bi Sister video. Calm, collected, dressed in blue, in an impeccably clean room, and just tearing down one of her closest friends over vitamins. Alright, so now that we're close to the end of the video, I just want to make some updates that happened since parts 1 and 2. So part 1 was about Jeffree Star, and I think, as of now, I released that video about 2 months ago. So...
wow, there's a big gap.
Jeffree Star has released 2 different videos in which he's addressed to the controversy, including things that I happen to speak about in my videos. Now, this first video is more so his reaction to Tati.
Thank you, Tony.
The video is called Doing What's Right, and in this video...
the Doing What's Right video. I know it very well. Remember the sofa? The sofa? Yeah.
Claims that he's done with the drama.
I've spent a lot of time...
This is such a ridiculous screenshot. This is so ridiculous. The fucking Louis Vuitton slippers. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Mandy, thank you so much. Hold on. Who remembers when I did this? Is this not? Not jump scare warning, that's me! A classic.
Realizing why I do certain things and why I do the things that I do. And today, there are no excuses. Today, once again,
No, it's
I will not be
that is not a
exposing
filter. That is not a filter. Like, that was hair and makeup and outfit and fake tattoos and everything.
Now, this of course would mark the third time he's claimed this in a matter of just
Thank you, Snow
a few
Princess.
years.
I do regret sending those tweets
Love
before
you and
fully
your
accusing
content.
an individual
Perfect
of
heart.
doing anything.
Thank you,
I
Snow
need more
Princess.
facts. So moving forward, I want to let you guys know something. I'm done.
I'm done.
I
am done with the tea,
with the drama, and I don't want to be involved in anyone's situations anymore. Fighting with people online and all of this.
Oh my god, the racism video. The racism video. If you know, you know.
So unhealthy, and it's something that I'm going to completely
Me when I
stop.
lie.
I'm not going to feed into it anymore. I am not going to feed the fire of hate with hate. I just think it has to stop.
I guess this is becoming an annual thing, so can't wait to see the 2021 version. Maybe his couch will be even uglier. In that video, he also claims that he didn't try to take anyone down, which is observably untrue.
I didn't try to take anyone down.
Lie.
I'm not a villain in a movie. This isn't a Netflix series.
As there's literally
This
him
is
on the podcast
real
offering
life.
to play a voice memo that he claims is incriminating James, so...
Is James Charles a danger to society? Is he a predator?
If you want, we can pause and I can go in another room and play Banks what I have on my phone, and he can determine if he would have sent the same tweet.
Dirt on everyone, and they know to keep their mouths shut.
I've never blackmailed anyone in my life.
Okay, but this is an update from last time. He actually apologizes verbally to James Charles in this apology video.
I would like to personally apologize to James Charles for the words that I've said and for my actions.
It would have been great.
Everything he says just sounds so fake because he, like, goes up at the end. And I'm sorry that you felt that way, James.
If he hadn't tried to shift the focus off of him and his mistakes
onto
victims of injustice,
Yeah.
whose names he couldn't even pronounce correctly.
Breonna Taylor still has no justice. Elijah McClain has no justice.
Now, in Jeffree's second video, since all of this, it's just like a normal video, but I'm gonna be fully honest with y'all, I think he was responding to me. Now, granted, I could be delusional, you know, I've been delusional in the past. I used to think I didn't look good with glasses. I've been that delusional. But no, like, I'm literally positive he was responding to me. See, in that video I made about him, I had a bunch of weird topics, but two of them I was unsure of. And one of them was the robbery that he claims happened, in which $2.5 million worth of makeup were stolen from one of his warehouses.
I'm
In this
sorry you
video,
felt that
I
way.
shared
Ugh.
that I did not believe this occurred because I didn't see any proof of it. But that if I saw proof, I would obviously believe it happened. So basically, Jeffree Star briefly addresses that.
Speaking of my concealer, Chris, you might find this hilarious. There's someone that tried to say that there's a police report from Jeffree Star Cosmetics that our warehouse and our robbery that we only had $10,000 of things lost. You guys, there was 30,000 units of just...
I mean, in terms of this robbery, I don't believe that it happened personally, because if it did happen and everyone's accusing you of lying about it, just, like, show proof. You know what I mean? How easy is it to show the police report or show proof, like, in any way? And he kept being like, can you believe? Allegedly. Can you believe that people would say that I was lying about it? Can you believe? Can you believe? Can you believe? Show proof! Oh my god.
Concealer stolen and so many other things. Like, it was so horrifying and awful and scary. So for someone to try to, like, minimize it, like it was a hoax or something, I was like...
I have to say, that is quite the markup. The other thing I called Jeffree out, but I was unsure about, was that he had multiple conflicting statements about his grandmother's age. To the point where I was just confused. He said her birthday was in 1 month, and then it was in another month. He claimed she was one age, and then she was a different age. So Yeah, Jeffree responds to that, of all things.
Okay, here's a funny one. You know, I've mentioned my grandma a few times. My grandma Mary.
So he literally uploaded a video called Addressing Rumors About Me, and it's just things D'Angelo said, but he won't address him by name. Lol.
She's her real age is 103. Okay, she turned that in July of this year. But when we did our video, I said my 100-year-old grandma, so everyone thinks that she's not real. My grandma's not real, and I fabricated her, and she's all a lie.
Yeah.
Anytime he like addresses something, it always just does come across as very, very, very salty and very, very, very bitter, which always makes him look very, very, very guilty.
Guys, oh my god, I can't.
I will say, in this case, I believe him. I would pretty much believe anybody about the age of their grandmother, if they didn't give like 3 different ages. It doesn't change the fact that he was still lying, though, because he posted a photo that he claimed was him on his way to visit her, but it was like several months old. Now, part 2 of my video, of course, was about Shane Dawson, and it was a lot more serious than just some weird lies here and there. Shane Dawson hasn't actually made any public statements since my video, which means we're going on, I think, 2 months since he said anything at all. Now, we do know that he's okay because his fiance posted a photo of him on his birthday, so that's good. But what's interesting, though, is that even though Shane Dawson hasn't said anything, the 2 people closest to him who are on YouTube have. Both his fiance, Rylan Adams, and his fiance's sister, Morgan Adams, released statements.
I'm pretty sure Morgan has pulled completely back on, like, publicly associating with Shane and Ryland. I saw a lot of people talking about that in the muckers group that we have. Why did I say it like that? On Discord. I could have just said Discord. It's really weird. Where people are saying that it seems that Morgan has kind of taken a step back.
About Shane Dawson that were, dare I say, weirdly similar.
I understand that Shane's made
oh my God, I remember this video.
Insensitive and offensive jokes, and I know that while they were far in his past, it's hard to separate that person from who he is today.
I see these old videos of Shane and I'm like, wow, I don't even recognize that person. That Shane isn't even in the same stratosphere as the Shane that, you know, you get to see in these older clips. So that's all I have to...
Her hair looks good here. Oh yeah, thank you, Aaron. My amazing mod has put the Discord link if you want to join our little group chat.
I don't know, I'm just saying they were weirdly similar. Anyway, writing off his stuff as jokes or...
I mean, of course, Morgan and Ryland are going to come up with like a similar, you know, statement, I guess, you know, to kind of keep... I mean, it was hectic, so they had to keep what they were saying, you know, under control, and they knew, and it was contained, you know.
Stuff from the past clearly shows me that Shane Dawson's course of action is to just not address the root of the real issues that people were accusing him of.
And yet he never did.
Not jokes or weird content from the past. But
he never did address it years later.
Probably for the best. So those are my updates to part 1 and part 2. If there's any updates after this, bro, I don't care. Like, you make the update video, okay? I think we're up to, like, what? 3 hours worth of content about this? I think that's good.
I mean, this Tati one, he definitely was just dragging it out, so he would have another hour-long video, which is fine. Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. Alright, let me do closing opinions on this video. This was definitely created because his videos were doing so well, D'Angelo's, and the long-form content was doing well, so he did it. Did he have enough content for an hour-long video on Tati Westbrook? No. Especially considering he only posted 40 minutes on Jeffree. Have I retained a lot from this video? No. Do I think it's a good video? Not really. Do I think it compares in any way compared to the 2 previous brilliant videos he made? No. I think those 2 videos were great. I think this one fell flat. I think focusing your points on James being innocent kind of obviously didn't age well. Focusing on that Tati Westbrook was kind of doing it in a homophobic way really fell flat. Coming from someone literally within the community, and a lot of people in my chat who are, fell flat. Just felt like we really didn't get anywhere with this video. I mean, again, like, the previous 2 videos were so great that this one just, like, you didn't have enough information to create this amount of content on Tati Westbrook. Like, this literally would have been something that would have, you know, been an update on the Shane one, or been an update or whatever. And the fact that, like, the entire series got deleted because of this one, just as, like, that Shane video was so important. That Jeffree one was important, I guess. I mean, the Shane one was really the one. And because this one didn't have, you know, the greatest response, and, you know, was the other thing. There wasn't really a lot to talk about, and, you know, you focused on James being very innocent. It basically meant then that you deleted the entire series, which was like, the series was so great and so important that it was like, that Shane video deserves to live on. Especially.
You need to react to the Liam McAvoy vids next.
I think I watched them, like, in the moment as well, possibly. But yeah, anyway, thank you for allowing me to go through and watch that. That's kind of like my closing take. I think this video does not compare in any way to the previous two, especially the Shane video. I just don't think there was enough information. I think it fell flat. But yeah, definitely an interesting conversation piece. And yeah, I appreciate you all letting me watch that.